We opened in July 2020, like straight after the first pandemic. My kind of whole vision was to make sure that the drivers were looked after and that they, had someone to speak to. Like all of them, they all have my number. They constantly phone me, but it's fine. And that the customers, they have someone who they can rely on, that taxis will be there on time, and that they'll update them when there's kind of when it's late or something like that. So yeah, that was the whole vision with Zoom. But we're seeing how things go. It looks like it's going in the right direction. So in total, we've got registered about like 330 drivers, but in terms of working drivers, that goes up and down all the time, especially with lockdown, people going on holiday, people don't want to work when it's ill. But in general, since we've moved to Autocab, working drivers have doubled, and the workers matched, it's doubled as well. So I'm pleased with that. I'm someone who doesn't like change. So when I started with my previous dispatch system, I kind of stayed with them. Even though there was loads of problems that happened, I'm someone who does not like change, don't like learning new things and stuff like that. So I was stuck with them for quite a while. Even though from day one, there were problems with the onboarding experience, not getting taught what was happening and things like that. I said to them, I'm leaving, and I contacted Autocab, and I had Tilly. She was my sales kind of contact, and she was really lovely, went through, and Autocab had the thing that I was looking for, and they had loads of extra stuff as well. And the reason why I contacted Tilly again was because she wasn't forceful. The sales experience that I've had with my previous company was really you have to get this, you have to get that, this is what you have to get. It was really forceful. It didn't seem like I was given any kind of choice in what I was getting. Whereas with Tilly, she went through things. She was like, this is something that you could do. This is something you could have. If you get this, you could do this with it, this marketing idea. And she was giving ideas from a taxi business's owner's perspective, rather than, and it didn't seem like it was coming from a salesperson trying to make money or their commission. It seemed like genuinely she was interested, looking at what the kind of how I want to build my company. And she offered loads of different products that Autocab does, and the things that were also coming up, what was in development. So when I decided I had enough, I'm going to change, which I was really reluctant to do so, I contacted her and she sorted everything out. It was really since we moved to Autocab that we've seen incredible increase in figures. At the end of the day, if people out there wanting to change, they just think about all that time they're spending on thinking about the things that are going wrong, what you could do with that time. Because I've definitely, as I said before, our bookings have doubled, the amount of working drivers have doubled, and that's only happened because of the fact that I've got more time to spend on doing the marketing side of it, reaching out to register new drivers, speak to people in the local community, and stuff like that. I've had more time because I'm not stuck in the office looking at the computers. Is it working? Is it not? So yeah, it's a lot more freeing to have a company where I don't even have to do it myself. The staff knows, just dial the support number, they'll speak to them rather than having to always go through me. And it's just so much easier that way. I was so incredibly grateful to the entire team. Anytime I had because taxi industry is 24/7, but you wouldn't expect the kind of third-party companies to also be 24/7, because obviously that's not really their job. But anytime I had a question or a problem, or something that I was unsure on, I'd just send a message and I'd get back a response straight away. The reason why I think the onboarding experience this time was a lot easier was I had someone I knew who to contact. I knew that it was very easy to contact someone, so I wasn't worried about when I'd get a response or anything like that, because I'd get that one for straight away. And definitely, it didn't seem like in the previous software, it didn't seem like they knew what they were doing, to be very frank with you. They weren't very knowledgeable about their own software. They'd always have to speak to someone else and speak to this person about what their product was. So it was useful having people who are actually knowledgeable about the product that they're selling. It just made it seem like they were just doing it for me rather than me having to play such an active part. They definitely just made it a lot easier, and I'm incredibly thankful. Incredibly thankful. So our previous drivers app was incredibly old-fashioned, and there was always problems with their GPS. This one's a lot easier because they can, I think what Autocab does is when they click on the navigation, it puts in the coordinates. So obviously with coordinates, you can't go to the wrong place. So that's made it a lot easier. So definitely both staff and drivers think it's a lot more easier, a lot more user-friendly, and it makes your life a little bit simpler. You don't have to do as much. So yeah, definitely really, I think it's very like modern in comparison to what we had before. It's quite old-fashioned. So yeah, this was, I think they both really like it, both parties. Yeah, 100% incredibly positive experience. I don't think I've had a single negative kind of thing to say about it. I didn't move to Autocab because of the iGo thing. I know a lot of customers did, but since moving and since learning about it, 100% I see the massive benefit that it can bring, and the number of aggregators are with Autocab. So yeah, I would 100% recommend Autocab.